Hello, everyone. Welcome to Beyond Life Paranormal Researchers podcast. I'm your host, Russell Reynolds. And my guest tonight, I met these guys at MSP at the Get Haunted event. They are part of Next of Kin Paranormal. They are a father and son team. His son couldn't be with us tonight, but his father's here, and we'll bring him on the stage. Please welcome my guest this time, Next of Kin Paranormal.
What's up,
Hey, Joe.
everybody? How you doing, Russ?
Welcome to the show.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome. Like I was telling my audience, I met you guys at MSP
Yep.
last weekend.
Yeah, last weekend, MSP, that's for sure.
So tell my audience a little bit how Next of Kin got started.
So my son and I started investigating about 6, 7 years ago. And it was just me and him going around a couple different venues back up home here in Pennsylvania. And then we went to our very first Get Haunted event. And that was at White Hill Mansion in Feldsboro, New Jersey, and met Get Haunted crew there and stuff, and talked with them a little bit and supported us, and really gave us the drive and the go to create Next of Kin. So my son and I decided we were going to start going out more, doing more things. We needed to come up with a cool team name, cool logo and stuff like that. So just figured father and son, it sounds like it's a good thing to call us Next of Kin. So that's how Next of Kin kind of started. So it started just over a year ago. And that's how we came about, Next of Kin.
Awesome. You guys do private residential stuff too as well, or?
No, we haven't really right yet. We go to a lot of different events and stuff like that. We recently just did our very own first private event that we did. Well, it wasn't an event, our very own first private investigation. It was the George Taylor House in Catasauqua, Pennsylvania. And that was pretty cool for our first time going out and doing something. So, and again, that's a place where it all kind of started for us. Was at this house, and we were there. The first time we were there was actually with Interstate Paranormal and that team. And again, they kind of helped guide us along the way too. So, as to what we are today and where we are today.
Awesome. Now I see you guys teamed up with Get Haunted and Rob and those guys.
Yep. Yeah, they've been an important part of really what we do. And when I say an important part, I mean important to the way that they took us in like family. They had helped mentored us. They helped really guide us in what we wanted to do. They never wavered in their support for becoming our own team and going out and helping them and doing different things. And, and just the exposure that they opened up for us to meet all of the great people, like getting the chance to meet you guys out in Missouri.
Yep.
Like Never in a million years, Russ, would I have thought that, my son and I would be going out to an event like that in Missouri. So we were like locally just staying local, here and there. And now we're doing a lot of traveling and meeting a lot of great people in the network, and it's just amazing. So, like I said, Get Haunted and Rob, they've not only helped us, but they've become like family to us, to be honest with you. So
Nice. Yeah, like we were talking before the show about that human pendulum experiment you guys did.
yeah, yeah.
That definitely
So
mind blowing, that's for sure.
yeah, so like I said before, I said so we do it's called it's the human pendulum, and it's my favorite thing to do when we're on an investigation. Um, it gets the guests involved, and it puts away all of the electronic devices, all the bells and whistles, and it helps tune you into your own senses and your own energies. And that's not the first time that I've heard people say they've never done the human pendulum before. Uh, I was introduced to it a couple of years ago out in Gettysburg at a psychic workshop that we went to, and we did it there, and I just kind of fell in love with it. And then one of the first events I got to help out with, I was able to do it there, and it worked really well. And we had other people doing the dowsing rods and stuff like that, because it's the human pendulum basically is simple yes no responses, just like with the dowsing rods, they crossed for yes no and stuff like that. And everything was coinciding. So basically, when you do the human pendulum, you need three people. It's a person in the center, and then a person in front and in back of that person. And then you ask the spirits to show you a yes or to show you a no. And for whatever response, they'll either move forward or backwards. So, and it's great to listen to the different people that get the chance to do it and how they experience and feel about it. So, but I'm surprised, it's odd because, I thought it was something that, a lot of people kind of did, because I'm still fairly new to this.
Right.
Like I says, we've only been investigating for 6, 7 years, and for me of all people, because like I don't know everything without a doubt. Like the human pendulum, for so many people to say that they've never seen it before, it's just really cool for me to see that, and then like see everybody's expressions, like you guys were pretty admired. I admired the way you guys really took to it too. So
Yeah, it was awesome, especially getting the accurate responses we did doing it.
yeah, and that's the thing. It's accurate, and when you get the right three people, it works really, really well. When that energy combines and everybody's energy's up and going, it just works really well.
Especially that woman that come through that wanted to she was very vocal. She really wanted to talk.
Yeah, I was surprised because we were in three D.
Yep.
We were in 3D and down in the bottom there, and I don't know too much history about it, about MSP, but like you said, there was a woman that came through, and and it's, again, it's not always the spirits that are in that one building or location. They can go from location to location, and it was odd because we didn't really get any other women coming through spiritually with anything until you guys came through with your session there. So that was kind of interesting.
Yeah, and that housed the mentally criminally insane
Yep.
and
Yeah, it was, yeah, the mentally insane it housed. So it was very interesting, to say the least. The responses and everything that happened. So,
speaking
but
of
I mean, It
Julie, there
was
she is.
what's that?
Julie said that was crazy. There was a real pull push.
Push. Yeah, there yeah, okay, Julie, I see, yeah, yeah. Yeah, she was yeah, she really you can tell I felt I could feel her energy and how
Yep.
it was really strong and radiated, so I knew she would be really good as the pendulum in the center there, so, "What's up, Julie? How are you?" And, I just loved it. Seeing the expressions on everybody's faces is the best,
Yep.
it's just so cool to see that.
We did a session. We took a group out with us when we went on free room, went back down to the same cell. Dan did his Estes method, and we ended up not using a spirit box Estes method. We did our senses with the
Oh,
blindfold
okay.
and the headphones. And Julie tapped into some man that was nasty. I mean, he was cussing up a storm.
Oh, wow, really? Now, you did that you do that where the artifacts were, did you say, in the dungeon?
Yep. And they had the artifacts already packed up, but
Oh,
they were already out of the building.
yeah.
So
But do you think maybe the energy was still I'm sure the energy from them was still
res-
there and had things amped up.
I think it was some residue left over. And then we let one of the guests take over that were with us, and she couldn't figure out how to tap into her senses because she's new to all this. So
Yeah,
I,
yeah.
I took over,
At
and
least she tried.
yep, she did try.
That's the cool thing. At least, she gave it a shot, and it's the only way you're gonna learn things, and listen to the stories and stuff like that.
And
So,
then
but
it was crazy when I took over. I ended up tapping into JB Firebug.
oh, you tapped into him.
Yep.
How was that?
Oh, that was interesting. Yeah, it was spot on. It was talking about how he had set the prison on fire and that he went
Mhm.
blind. He was housed down there for 18 years.
Oh,
He was
wow.
released. And
Yeah,
then I got number 20, which Dan got that earlier in the night during his Estes method.
the number 20.
So come to find out, I was talking to Wade. Wade goes, I housed the artifacts in cell number 20.
Oh, yeah. You know what? Yeah. I remember that. I remember Wade saying something about that. Yeah.
And
Yeah, no kidding.
I guess not many people can tap into JB.
No, that's like I said, I don't know too many people really that have investigated it. That was my first time there. Rob from Get Haunted has been there a bunch of different times. And he loves the place. So, but it was my first time. It was my son's first time. Um, it was like the Nesper guys. It was all their first time being there too. So, to bring. What did you think of the artifacts, though?
Oh, they were crazy. I You could feel the energy coming off them. Several of the pictures I've got, they've actually their heads turned and were looking at us.
Oh, really?
Yep. Julie,
Wow.
Julie took a picture and she actually caught the demonic face that's attached to the shadow doll.
Yeah, that shadow doll is crazy. That's really something else. And to listen to the stories of Dan and Wade and Chris, it's just unbelievable that these guys do this and take care of these items.
Yep.
Um, and Wade sleeps in the same house with them and
I
watches over them and stuff. That's just mind-boggling. So but it's amazing to see those artifacts. You
Yeah,
know,
it is because I've heard so much about them because being related to Ed and Lorraine, I've done a
yeah,
little research on those artifacts, and
yeah. So how are you related to Ed and Lorraine?
I am a cousin on Ed's side of the family.
Oh, okay, cool, cool. What was
Like,
it like to find that out?
oh, it was, like, mind blowing. I found out January of last year when I was doing genealogy and found a cousin in Florida, my cousin Dawn, and she's related to him, and Dawn ended up being a double cousin of mine,
Okay.
and it's all through my dad's side of the family, and then Dawn's related to my mom also.
Oh, okay. Cool. Cool. That's pretty awesome. Yeah. I know when you said that, you were related, I was like, damn, man, that's pretty awesome. So you
Yeah,
got a chance to see, your family's work a little bit, what it was all about. So that's very interesting.
and
So
we're
now
going
that was
to
that was
Gettysburg.
that what's that?
We're going out to Gettysburg also.
Oh, okay. So yeah, Gettysburg when they do. So are you going out for the Nesper
Yep,
in September? Yeah.
yep,
Yep. Yeah, that's going to be a pretty cool time because they're going to have more objects there, I believe. And I'm not going to say too much about one of them that's going to be there, but we didn't get to see it
oh, yeah.
when we were there in Missouri. So, and I haven't seen it personally, but I've talked to people that have, and yeah, it's pretty neat to hear what they have to say after they experience that feeling.
Yeah, it's interesting fact that Wade does stay in that house with them in that museum right there.
Yeah, I know. It's unbelievable.
But,
So I think Jenny looks like Jenny said they're bringing maybe 70 pieces.
yeah, they usually bring a big load of them out
Okay.
to the Warren
Yeah.
Fair.
Okay. For the big ones, Paracon. Yeah. I guess they were just before Missouri. They were also out in Texas.
Yeah, they were, I think, San Antonio, I think, or
Yeah.
Houston.
They were out in San Antonio. Yeah. With a bunch of stuff. So, again, like I said, like, they were saying that they travel around to, educate on these items. And, because people don't get the chance to go into the museum up in Connecticut anymore because the town closed it down. So
Yep.
this is a great way to expose it and teach and learn. And to hear the stories, like I said, of especially from Dan, because Dan is Annabelle's handler for the most part, and to hear some of his stories when he talks about Annabelle, it's just amazing.
Yeah, I know, especially when he handles her. I don't know how he does that.
I don't know either. Well, Wade has made special gloves for Dan to handle it. There's the case that she's in. It's all specially made. There's the Lord's Prayer in there and crucifixes, and it's blessed and everything. I mean, these guys, you know, I really work hard on taking care of what they have to take care of. So
Right. And it was even that dragon that they had there, to hear that, what possessed that little boy.
yeah, I mean, it's yeah, the dragon is again, it's nuts to hear these stories of these items and how they've come across or collected them over the years, and the stories that are behind them. It's first of all, I think it's enriching because you're learning something. Um, and second of all, it's just fascinating to hear, how they come across them and what happened with it and the story behind it. So, what was your favorite artifact that was there?
I would have to say the shadow doll.
The shadow doll?
Yep.
Yeah, that's most people say. Yep.
Even though I did like the fire doll too,
Yeah.
but Wade was showing us a trick how the fire doll will follow you with its eyes.
Yep. Yeah. That's creepy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Did just have that happen to you, or
Yeah, I've got it in pictures where I took several different still photos of it, and you can see it. turned its head and its eyes were looking right at me.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Same with the mask they had sitting there. That one mask turned and looked at me.
Yeah, I've heard that. Was it the white mask?
Yeah, it was the white one.
I heard other people have that same experience that night, saying that that mask was looking at them. Matter of fact, Denise that was with us that helped out, she was with Candy um, up in
Okay.
C Block in the women's ward. Before everybody came, I think she's right here.
Yep.
She had said that the white one was giving her the creeps. So
Oh,
it's
yeah,
funny that you say that. What's up, Denise?
that thing was creepy.
Yeah, that white mask really shook a few people. Yeah, even Jenny didn't like it. Yep. Oh, the shadow doll.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they say she'll come to you in your dreams.
yeah, the shadow doll. Yeah, yep.
Annabelle will too, the real Annabelle doll.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, it's
You never wanna stare her in the eyes.
no
Those
same thing with the shadow doll. There too, especially with the shadow doll, you want to ask permission and stuff like that to talk to it or look at it, and it's just you just get that creepy feeling
Yep.
when you're there. So
I ended up having an experience with Annabelle. I was watching one of Ed's old videos on YouTube where a reporter was interviewing him, and they decided to take the camera and zoom in on Annabelle's eyes, and I ended up seeing her that night after I went to sleep.
oh wow. Anything weird happen after that, or
Uh, yeah, I woke up, I didn't feel good, kinda shaken up, and it seen her, and then it was like I had this real bad dream of, getting in a car accident,
yeah, well,
and
if you know any of if you well, you heard Dan's story, so it kind of makes sense. You know,
us
at least it was just a dream that you had, and it wasn't really,
yeah.
you know, happening to you.
Well, I know she's heard a priest also.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. And if I remember correctly, the story that was told after the priest is in the hospital, um, Annabelle was the last thing he seen in the rearview mirror before the accident.
Yep,
So it's just amazing, like I said, to hear, you know, these stories and to have the public educated on them and stuff like that. So, you
right.
know, hats off to those guys for doing what they do.
I know it was neat. I was watching your son there that night at MSP. He was getting excited when all them cat balls were going off, and
Yeah, well, I think when we were down and you guys were there for that session with us, that was the most active it was, I think, all night. Um, because the cat balls were going off, the tripwire was going off a little bit. So it was it was great to see all that activity and and you can hear like things walking or things
yep,
moving and um I think, matter of fact, I think I don't know if it was you guys, but um we were doing one of the like a spirit box or something. I can't think of what my son has the app on his phone. Necrophonic.
necrophonic. Yep,
And I think they were talking about the one cell. And on free roam, I went down with two people, and we were down there talking. And again, we were doing a couple of different things, and we were getting set like three, the number three, and this and that. And then when we walked down, I walked down and I shined the light up on a thing. It was cell three, and I think maybe it was with you guys too. It's that lady that took the picture over by the cell,
yep.
and it had the face in between her and the two of them. It yeah, she actually sent me those. that was something else because we asked with the dowsing rods and they were doing it to point where
Yeah.
where the spirit was, and it pointed there. And she asked about getting her picture taken, and she stood over there, and it kind of showed up. I'm trying to get my son to enhance the photos a little bit. I am technically challenged when it comes to that stuff. Um, but yeah, I think it was Julie there that had it. So it it was crazy to see. And it wasn't just in one picture because it was just in the one it came in the one picture with just her, and then the two ladies were standing there, and it was like in between them.
Mhm.
So that was interesting.
Well, when you guys were doing the dowsing rods and then a few of us went up the other hallway right there and we're sitting there, we were watching a black figure peeking in and out of the one cell at us.
Yeah. Yep.
Your son spotted it too, and he was like, "You see that?" I'm like, "Yeah."
Yeah. I was seeing shadow figures all the way down at the end of that row where we were too in the earlier sessions. I could see them moving back and forth. And then and again, with your session, when you guys were there and we were doing stuff, I was seeing, I don't know if you were, and I was seeing the sparkles
Mhm.
and the lights, the sparkly lights and stuff in there. And it's pitch black in there, guys. So, like, what is that? What's going on with that? And I guess that's pretty common um, to hear that happen down there too.
Yeah. I think we got that there last summer. It happened to us too as well down there. We were
Yeah.
3D.
But yeah, the shadow movement was great down there. I guess Rob was doing a session down in the back too. And Rob's like a magnet for shadows again, and he had shadows coming out and moving around down there. So who is the little girl that bounces in? I'm not sure of that one. You know, Russ?
Uh, I know there was a inmate there that the warden used to bring up to the house to do work on his house, and he had an affair with her, and he had gotten her pregnant.
Oh.
And I think she killed herself.
Oh, wow. So that could be, yeah. Huh. What's up, Sandy?
But
But yeah, no, that's interesting.
I
Hmm.
remember Jenny telling me that last summer when we were up at the museum up there.
Okay. Wow.
And we went up. Our group went up on the women's section with I think it was Candy, I believe. They had the SLS, and
Yeah.
that lady Michelle that was in my group, the spirit up there wanted to talk to her.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Candy gave her the necrophonic, and then they used the burst EVP. So we separated, and they were actually coinciding answer
Yeah.
wise back and forth. And apparently, she was an inmate there, and she was having an affair with a guy named Chris, who
Oh.
who was a guard, and she had killed herself there.
Okay.
She
Huh.
threw,
Interesting. Yeah.
she threw herself off the third floor.
Okay. Wow, I didn't know that. Yeah, there's so much history behind those walls there that it's hard to really, catch up on it all unless you're hearing it from, the different people. So, what's up, Jims?
And that was just before we got released to you guys. And we were walking down, and we were standing there waiting for everybody else. I looked over to my left where Candy had the SLS set up, and here's this black shadow figure peeks around the cell,
Yeah. Yeah,
and
no, that's
then darts back. So I took off after it. Julie went with me, so did her husband, and then several other people following. Candy's like, "We gotta go. I told her we just seen a black figure down there."
yeah.
And I
Did
said,
you
"We." It
Did
just
you find anything else or
Chris seen something up on the 3rd floor catwalks up there when he rounded the corner, and that was the same spot down below we seen the black shadow.
oh, okay. Interesting, interesting.
So then we ended up getting released to you guys after that. We wanted to go back up there, but usually they say men don't get activity up there.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
It's usually only women, and
Yeah. Well,
crazy that
maybe that's why that spirit there only wanted to speak with that one lady more, you know?
yep, and it was weird that they actually interact with us men up there.
Yeah. Yep. No, I just I find a lot of times when we're investigating that, most often it seems that there's one spirit that shows up that wants to speak with one person more than everybody else. And it's that one person that they want to have ask the questions, and you just got to find who that person in the group is. And then once that connection is made, it really seems to roll along really well.
Yeah, that was like down in 3D there. That lady only wanted to talk to me for some reason,
Yeah. Yep.
and it
Yeah. And then I think his name was Logan, who had an experience down there before too. And I think we figured out the guy's name was Roy.
okay.
And that's who I went back down with later. And he went back in the room. It was just like it was like a guard's office from talking to Jenny. She said
Mhm.
it was a guard's office that the room was that he had this experience in. And as so he goes in there and he sets up his REM pod and he set up his music box with the sensors all around it.
Mhm.
And he's standing back in the corner, not moving. And sure enough, he's starting to get activity and stuff like that in there. And you can hear like things moving and shuffling in there with him. You can hear it from what side it was coming from to the point where he actually ran out. He got a little nervous.
Actually,
So,
we did hear him down because we went up to Death Row. We were gonna go down to 3D, and we heard somebody down there, so we just let him be. We could hear the music
uh,
going off.
yeah, so yeah, that was us. Yeah.
Yeah, we ended up going up into Death Row up above you guys,
Okay.
and
And how was Death Row up there? I didn't get a chance to investigate that.
oh, it was active. We got the reverse sweep ink box was just going nuts. There's, like, multiples talking, and then we had one come through. He wasn't very friendly. He was cussing at Julie,
Yeah.
and, then we got the name Amy, which come to find out, Amy's crypt is gonna be out there in 2 weeks.
Oh, huh.
Amy
Interesting.
has Amy has been there in the past.
Okay. It's funny how they kind of know what's happening before it even happens.
Yep, they know when you're coming. That's same thing with, like, our residential cases that we do.
Hmm.
We deal with demonic too, just like Nesper does, and
Yeah.
them demons know when we're coming, so we don't
Yeah.
even tell our clients when we're coming. We
Yeah.
surprise it.
Do you do a lot of residential cases?
Yeah, we do quite a few. We're probably over 100 cases of residential.
Oh, wow. Interesting. Yeah. Yeah. Like I says, we haven't gotten into doing anything like that yet. I don't think that's on our radar to do that right now. We're like I says, we're still kind of just figuring it all out. So,
There's a question for you.
who is Edward to you, Joe? I am hearing him and stuff in your space. Sorry if I am wrong. Edward. I have no idea who Edward is to me. Um, I don't know. I'll have to think about that. I don't know. She's got me there.
She's a medium. She's a friend of mine.
Okay. She got me baffled because I don't know if there's an Edward in my family or I have a connection someplace else. I'm trying to think if, even if I know anybody. Huh. I don't know. My mom was tuned in before. I don't know if she knows anybody named Edward that's in our family, if she's still here listening. So text me, mom, if you're still there. Let me know. No, he followed.
I wonder if he followed
Followed from where? Where did he follow me from? Oh, so my grandfather had a brother, Edward. Huh. Now it starts to get interesting. Now it gets interesting. So,
Yeah, that's you never know who a medium's gonna pick up on.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. So, and that's like, when we're doing investigations at these different places and we have groups of people coming through and the guests are there, it's just not the spirits that are at that location that can come through. It could be a spirit that's attached to any of those people that comes through.
Yeah.
And I've seen that happen, a couple of different times. So that's interesting.
Well, it's like that one girl that had that medical emergency coming in contact with some of the Warrens' artifacts there.
Hmm.
She,
Yeah.
I don't think she had very good protection with her as far as grounding herself and stuff like that.
Hmm.
But my dad was able. He snapped her out of it real quick, and he actually gave her his medal, which is a good
Okay.
medal, and put it around her neck. And then, like I said, did holy water on his hands and did some stuff with her. And she stayed the rest of the night. I saw her when we packed up for the night.
Huh. She was okay though after that.
Yep.
Huh. So it sounds like my mom said that my grandfather's brother that was named Edward died in a back street in New York. He had a hard life, huh? You have to talk to my mom more about that. So if that Melissa, if you're still there and if you know where he followed me from, I would appreciate it if you wanted to just message me or something. That would be great. I find that very interesting.
Yeah, Melissa does readings for people.
Hmm. Yes. Huh. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. Okay, Melissa, I'm gonna message you here after we need to talk. um hmm. So that kind of makes sense to me though, because that he may be like you said, watching over me because my grandfather spirit has come through and he says he watches over me as well. So huh, very interesting. Very interesting. Wow, thank you, Melissa, for that.
Yeah, that's probably one of your protectors for the in the field here to make sure nothing bad happens to you.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah. Absolutely.
Like my dad, he gets this white glow around him.
Well, that's so odd that you say that because I was talking with Wade from Nesper before the whole event started, and we were talking about like that white light and stuff like that surrounds people and protects people and everything. So, huh, that's interesting that you said that. And again, you know, it just everything makes sense and connects some way. It seems anymore.
Yep.
Hmm.
And I saw you guys got an event coming up with Get Haunted again. I saw
Yes. So Next of Kin has become a Get Haunted mercenary team. And they have multiple mercenary teams. And basically, what we do is we help them at events. Um, and this will be our first official event that we're going to be the lead on. And it's going to be in White Hill Mansion in Fieldsboro, New Jersey. Um, June 15th, I believe, is next Saturday.
Yep.
So, to all of my local friends and family up here in PA, and if you guys want to make the trip from Missouri, there's still tickets available. Come on out. It's a great place. Been there a few different times. Uh, Civil War history to it. Was a speakeasy. Mob history to it. So there's tunnels that they ran moonshine out of. So White Hill Mansion. Yep. Yeah. So we'll be there next weekend.
Oh, nice.
Um, and it'll be our first official lead investigation to help them guys out. What's up, Kaylee? So, that's yeah, White Hill's pretty cool. Kaylee has been there too, to White Hill Mansion, and I've got to investigate there with her too. And that's really a great place. So,
I've heard of the place. I'm originally from back east also. I grew up in New York,
okay. All
so
right. Cool. Yeah. So, yeah, White Hill's pretty cool. So, being that you grew up in New York, then you got to know about the Hinsdale House
yep,
and the Wildwood Sanitarium.
yep,
Yep. Yeah. When I first heard of the Wildwood Sanitarium, thought it was in Wildwood, New Jersey. Didn't realize it was in New York.
yep.
So, and apparently they're pretty close together. So,
And then the Shanley Hotel is another big one. Sally used to send me invites all the time to come up there.
yes, yeah, that's actually where um I got to do that was the first stop on the Devils on the Run tour with Nesper.
Mhm.
And that was my first time at that location too, and got to experience those objects. And I got to actually hang out and talk with Tony Spira. He was there. He is such a fascinating man to talk with,
Oh, yeah.
and just a cool, down to earth guy. I mean, we were talking about cooking and sauce and things like that, because we're both Italian, and it,
Yep.
it was it was just great to have that personal connection when you get to sit down and talk with these guys. So yeah, no, but yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah, I had, Tony on my show not too long ago.
Oh, okay.
In fact, when we were at the event at MSP, I actually played the replay of it,
Oh, okay. Interesting. Yeah. Yeah. No. Huh.
and we got talking about the Devil on the Run tour and then a lot of the
Yeah.
artifacts and stuff like that, and
Yeah.
Ed and Lorraine, and we got in a deep conversation about what possesses someone to shoot somebody.
Oh, did you?
Yep,
Yeah. I don't know too much about that. So
and about the demonic and stuff, what it does.
yeah. Yeah. That's really something haven't dug into too much on the demonic side of things. I know it's there. Um, I want to leave it there. It's not a place I want to go and look into just yet.
Yeah, if you're inexperienced, I don't recommend it. I recommend kind of
Yeah.
doing what you're doing, starting off slow, like you
Yep.
guys are doing now.
Yeah. Yeah. So as we were, and if Jenny Davis is still here, she'll laugh at this one. We were at Penhurst for the Paracon, and I we were doing an investigation at night, and Jenny and I were in this one room, and it kept wanting us to go into the basement of that building. So we went down into the basement, and there was another group of people down there investigating.
Mhm.
and we started talking, and they had like a necrophonics or something going, and I'm like, well, all right, I'm down here in the basement. Why did you want me down here? And after about 3 or 4 times I asked, and then Jenny asked again, and then I asked, and it was on cue right after I said it. The necrophonic said demon, and I was like, "Yep, nope, that's it. I'm done. I'm out." And I ran out of the building. I was done at that point. And Jenny was laughing at me. She found it hysterical that as soon as that word was said, I was gone.
Right. No,
You know.
I don't blame you because they are nasty
Yep.
entities. They can hurt you.
Oh yeah. No, I could imagine. Yeah. And again, like I said, you hear the stories. Especially having the chance to talk to um, Wade and Dan and Chris and hear their stories of you know them going out to residential cases. So, and Sabrina Marie from Two Realm Paranormal, she had her own experience. I actually got to investigate with them, and I met them at the Roundhouse in Ohio, and I can't imagine having to go through what she had gone through, her and her mother had gone through. So it's interesting.
Oh
You
yeah,
know, it's interesting, but it's not interesting. And just she actually wrote a book about her and her mom's whole experience on it and what happened and stuff like that. And her and her mom are two great ones. Again, if you want to talk to somebody and hear things and get advice on stuff, those two are also phenomenal. Sabrina and Teresa. So,
yeah, Sabrina, reach out to me on Facebook and I'll get you on the show.
yep. Oh, so Julie got jumped by one once and learned the hard way. Yep, that's usually what it seems that happens from what I'm hearing.
Yeah,
Is that it just kind of happens. They're not really expecting it. So, and again, now I don't know. Oh, you're welcome, Teresa. I love you guys. You guys are great. Um, I don't know, like I says, I don't know much about the whole demonic thing or how that happens. You're very welcome, Sabrina. How that happens, and like Julie said, it just kind of jumped her, and she found out the hard way. So I
yeah.
don't
With
know where you have to be for something like that to happen, or how that has to happen. It's just, it's nope, tricky fingers.
yeah, they
Hmm.
are tricky, especially a lot of negative energy brings it on. Past trauma.
Okay.
I mean, if you got a history, say you grew up in a house that had a history of violence, drug use, and alcohol, that's everything right there that makes you a perfect target. If you got medical issues, like autistic kids are a bigger target.
Really?
Demonic,
Huh.
yep.
Wow.
People that have
That's
been raped
interesting.
is just a hotbed for your demonic to attach itself to.
Huh. Interesting. Like I
I
says it's not something I know too much about. So to hear this is pretty cool.
love you too, Melissa.
From
Watching from
Dayton.
welcome in.
Yeah, welcome. Was working to cleanse a house and dude that ran with a satanic band. Huh.
Okay, yeah, I know what case
That's,
Julie's
you
about.
know what she's talking about, huh?
Yep.
Now, when she says satanic bands, like music,
Mhm.
interesting. Interesting.
And they actually still perform today.
Really?
Yep.
Huh. And they do that kind of satanic music type stuff still?
Yep.
And
Yep. Well, that's like we work the case. I've seen what the demonic can do to somebody.
Mhm.
roll their eyes in the back of their head, make them speak in tongues, and
Yeah.
have no control of their body, and stuff getting scratched in the side of them.
Yeah. Huh. Black Swedish Metal. Is that the name of the band? That's interesting.
But yeah, it took 6 months for that case that we worked to get her back
6
to work.
months, wow.
Yep.
Wow. Huh. What other kinda cool cases have you worked?
We did one another demonic case where the guy was doing demonic worshiping in his house, and he had he had conjured up the demon Baphomet himself. He had a goat's head necklace, everything, was doing rituals. He had 2 little kids
Wow.
in the house, a 19-year-old daughter,
Wow.
and that case was only my dad and I. The rest of my members had to work that day, so it was an emergency, so we went out
Yeah.
there, and we had DVR camera set up. Well, took a break and was just sitting there letting the cameras do the work and watching. Well,
Yeah.
the camera sat there started pulsating. I figured it was
Wow.
just static charge,
Huh.
and it got worse. Then all of a sudden, you see this big black figure appear in it. So I went back there to see what was going on. Well, this demonic figure come running directly at me, dropped down to about 5 foot, and disappeared at my legs, and I'm holding on to my cross and my Saint Benedict's medal, and I ended up with 3 scratches on my bicep,
Okay. Huh.
and I still got the scars from it.
Really? Wow. So, let me ask you this question, Russ.
Sure.
Um, like, so we go out and we have a good time investigating, these haunted locations and stuff like that and everything. What had you go the path that you went into to help people with demonic possession and demonic things in their homes? Like, what about that attracted you? Because I would have guessed something had it fascinated about you, you
Well, it
know?
was happened to me when I was 6 years old, lived in a haunted
Okay.
house, and I saw my first apparition at 6,
Okay.
and it was about 3 o'clock in the morning, and heard a noise that woke me up, and here's a Civil War soldier standing in the doorway of my bedroom looking at me.
Oh, wow. Wow.
And then things would happen in the house. I mean, stuff would get moved all the time. You'd light a candle, you see a breeze go blowing through. Things would
Really?
happen. Water would turn on, toilets would flush on their own.
Wow.
Went outside one morning, my dad did, and the car was running.
Really?
And there no way to get into it. The doors are locked, everything. No way
Yeah.
to
Well,
bust.
yeah. And back then it probably wasn't like, automatic starts and stuff like today. You actually had okay, young people out there, you actually had to have a key to open doors and start cars. There was no push buttons.
Yep, when I was 6, there was none of that. We
Yeah.
didn't we didn't even have internet yet.
We didn't even have internet yet when you were 6.
So,
Well, I'm not gonna say how old I am then because my our first internet, it was like the dial-up kinda one where it was,
that was
you
my
were hearing going off and stuff like that, so
yeah, that didn't show up till I was a teenager in high school.
Alright, now you're making me feel old, Russ. Oh, man.
But,
Well,
we got somebody from Florida watching.
yeah,
Welcome in. Web
and
TV over.
web TV hold. Ah, okay. Oh, man, that's too funny.
But, yeah, as a I got older, my neighbor's house was haunted. We ended up moving out of that house because too much strange stuff was going on. And
Yeah.
come to find out, new people had bought it from New York City and they remodeled the house and they ripped open the wall in the attic that my dad wanted to, but he didn't because we were renting it with option to buy. And they found a whole bunch of Civil War money, uniforms,
Oh,
bayonets,
wow.
maps, guns. Come to find out, it was a Civil War base and hospital.
Oh, okay, cool. Oh, that's really cool.
So that kind of sparked my interest in helping people because we had nobody to help us when we were
Yeah.
with it. So,
Wow. Huh.
and then I just started getting into the demonic stuff because you don't see very many besides us, Raven's Eye, and Esper that really deal with the dark
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, no, that's yeah, absolutely.
And I got connections with demonologists and the Roman Catholics and
Okay. I was laughing at the comment, the AOL thing.
AOL chat room.
Yeah.
So, so that's kind of what sparked me to get into
Sparked
helping
you to get
people.
into it? Interesting, yeah. No,
And
for us, my son, Dominic was young and he was watching the TV shows and he was like, "I wanna try this, dad. I wanna go see if we can do something like this." So, we went to our first event at, Eastern State Penitentiary in Philadelphia,
ooh, that's a good place.
and yeah, and it was our I think, first time was pretty cool there for me. I was big skeptic, didn't believe in any of it. But then, the questions started and things that couldn't be answered. And so we went back again. And the second time we went back, he was filming with his camera and he was, 14, he might have been 15 or 16 at the time, filming with his camera. And he gets this black shadow mask coming out of one of the offices. And it just comes out and turns and goes down the hallway going from him and then just disappears. So,
Mhm.
and as it just before it happened, his camera starts going in and out of focus and kind of goes blurry a little bit, and you see the mask come out and go, and that was it. So, do
Yup.
you think the Robert doll is a gimmick or the real deal? My opinion on the Robert doll is I think it's probably the real deal.
I'm with you on that. I've talked to many people that have experienced Robert Dahl, and they claim he is real. You do have
Yeah.
to ask him permission to take his picture and
Yep. Yeah,
get
I've heard that. Yeah. Yeah, I heard that, and again, I'm not no expert by far on any of this stuff, but I do believe that there's something to it. And like what possesses these items, like the Robert doll, the Annabelle doll, the fire doll.
yep.
Well, the fire doll, we kind of know what kind of that's all about. But what happens, what gets into these to, make them the way they are and how that all happens? That's the real question, I think.
Well, that's like Ed said, a child is not allowed to possess an object.
Yeah. Yeah, no, exactly. So it's just crazy to really think about the different things out there. Sorry, guys, that's my dogs. Hawkeye, I'm sorry. I got three of them. They're gonna go crazy here in a second. Maybe they'll calm down. So
Well, Paranormal Activity, the Foreman Brothers. No, I've never been to Bobby Mackey's. That's on my list of places to go to.
um, I think I think that I now I'm not 100% sure, but I thought I read where Bobby Max was getting torn down.
Yeah, I guess they're gonna actually rebuild it, from what I heard. They're tearing it down, and then they're gonna rebuild it.
Oh, huh. Yeah, I don't know how, that I think tearing it down and rebuilding it, I think that can spark up the energy worse than it was before. I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, when you remodel, especially even like a residential, a lot of
Yeah,
people plus in, they buy this house and they start remodeling it, and then all of a sudden activity starts kicking in.
yeah,
When you're changing their atmosphere, what they're used
yeah, yeah,
to them, you're trespassing. That was
yeah.
their
So,
house.
actually, I do remodeling work. Um, Sabrina says they're rebuilding Bobby Mackey, so I do remodeling work, and never thought much of spirits and ghosts and everything when I first started doing this, but as I start doing it, it's more present in what I'm thinking of. So I'm doing a pretty big remodel for some friends of mine, and we know their house is haunted. There's stuff that goes into it, and that happens all the time. And we've caught stuff in there. And I was in there, and nobody else was in the house with me, and I was ripping out the shower, and I happened to just turn my head a little bit, and I had the doorway ripped out because changing the doors. I happened to turn my head a little bit, and up at the top of the door jamb, the head of the door, there was a black shadow figure that was like peeking around in at me to see, like, hey, what the hell are you doing in here? And when I looked at it, it took off and it was gone. And then another time I was in the house and doing something, and I could hear footsteps walking around on the floor I was at. And I yelled, "Hey, you guys up here?" Didn't get an answer. So I walked downstairs. There's nobody downstairs at the bottom of the stairs where I came down. So I walked through their house to where the other set of stairs is, and there's another room over there. There's nobody in there either. So I'm yelling if there's anybody in the house. I walk out the back doors, and they're sitting outside having a cigarette. So I heard footsteps and it wasn't them. And then another time I was down in their basement doing something, sitting on the stairs doing something with the panel box, and they have bells on their doors for their dogs. And plain as day, I hear the door open and shut,
Mhm.
the bells jingle, and then I hear footsteps walk across the house. And I says, "Hey, I'm down here. Don't close the door." Nothing. "Hey, yo, I'm downstairs." Again, nothing. I go walking upstairs and there's nobody in the house. Again, I walked back outside and nobody was even outside. So I don't know what it was or what happened, but it's just interesting that that kind of activity stirs things up. So that was the old man. So what I've heard that there's an old man there. So, or is it an old man that's with me? So I don't know, but yeah, huh,
Did an old man die there or something?
that's we can't confirm it, but that's the rumor and the history of the house. There actually used to be a dumbwaiter in there,
Mhm.
and I think they said that's where he was found, was in the dumbwaiter.
Okay.
And they don't know how we got in there or what happened, but that's where he was. And again, there's nothing we can find historically on it. Um, Whether it's correct or not, I couldn't tell you. On his way to the hospital, he died. Oh, but I don't know. We can't confirm or deny any of it. It's
Right.
rumors. It's all hearsay, but there's nothing on it. So, but it's 1800s farmhouse, and it was there when there was nothing else around it, so it's been there a long time. But, died on his way to the hospital.
But yeah, that's common with a lot of houses when you start remodeling. You kick
Yeah,
effectively what they're attached to. That's the
yep,
same like residual too. If you change that door to a wall, that entity is still going to walk through that wall because it thinks it's a door.
he's still doing his everyday routine. He doesn't know that it changed because he's still stuck. I call it being stuck in a circle,
Yep,
just
just like a regular
repeating that
brain
circle
door.
every day. Yeah, yeah.
That's
So
why
that's interesting that you say that.
MSP's got a lot of residual in it too. If you go up in cell house 3 up there, up in solitary, up on the catwalks up there, you'll hear the cell door slamming in front of you when you're
I've
staring.
heard that. Yeah, yep, yeah. Sheila was saying a lot of that happens, around in just almost all of the buildings. You hear them. You hear cell door slamming and everything like that. So,
Yeah, we got it when we were there last summer, the cell door slamming. I got it on audio. Down in the dungeon, I've got on video. You go on my YouTube channel, there's a video from our visit at MSP,
mhm.
and you'll hear a woman yelling out hello through the tunnel
Oh wow, huh?
at it. Camera picked it up, my recorder picked it up. We heard it with our own ears.
Yeah,
Sent
huh?
somebody up to check, see if somebody was up on the top floor in the cell block there. There was nobody up there.
Yeah, that's crazy, crazy. But yeah, that's an everyday occurrence in a prison, though.
Yep.
Hearing
I
those doors slamming. That
I walked out of there with a bruise on the inside of my bicep. It looked like someone had taken a cigarette and stabbed me with it.
really?
My dad
Huh?
up in the museum, he shook hands with that guard mannequin up there in the museum,
Yeah,
and he had on his arm right here, it looked like someone had taken their hand and grabbed him. He had all finger marks.
really? Huh? Huh? Because yeah, when we were first at the museum, when we were all talking, because I had actually, I even asked Sheila because you could feel the energy in that little house over there. If it was haunted, and she says, "Yeah." I mean, well, you figure with the stuff that's in there, it's all connected. So,
Yep. Well, I got a picture of Robert Verdella out of that museum.
oh, really?
I don't
Huh.
know if you got to see it. I showed Dan. I was showing Dan and Chris,
I think I might have. I think when you were showing them, I think I seen it.
and I gave him a comparison to compare it to, and Dan was like, "Get the fuck out of here."
Yeah, I think I remember. Yeah, I think I remember them just talking about it now that you say that.
Yeah, that was the last time we were at the museum. We caught that, and we confirmed it with Jenny that it was Robert Verdella.
That's just crazy to have to catch that like that. So, and I guess also the house across the street, which they rent out is like I'm going to call it a bed and breakfast, but they rent the house, the rooms out over there too.
Mm.
There's the big house and a little house. Um, I guess they both have activity too. So,
Well,
and they say, what's that?
right across the street from the prison where that office building is,
Yeah.
that used to be the infirmary on the
Oh,
right there,
I did not know that.
and
Huh.
they tore it down and made an office building out of it.
Yeah. Wow. I didn't know that. Hmm. But yeah, so like I said, and then I guess they were saying that the bigger house um was owned by a factory owner or something,
Yep.
built the house, but it had something to do with the prison
Yep.
when he was there. So
And then the warden lived right down a little bit from it, and then eventually he moved up into that house because
yeah.
he lived in the house down below. That's where he was taking that inmate girl and having her come clean the house, and he was having an affair with her.
Oh, yeah, okay, that makes sense now, yeah. Yep.
And I
Yeah,
believe she did get pregnant, and she ended up I think she did kill herself, I believe.
wow. That's just unreal to hear that, you know?
And,
Well, did she and here's the question, did she really kill herself? Or was there more to the story, you know?
I
It's
think there's more to it. I'm wondering if maybe he possibly murdered her because
exactly, you
probably
know, or had somebody else do it. I mean, you know, he was the warden, you
Yep.
know?
Yeah, it's hard to say and what happened. There's a lot of stories in that place.
Yeah. Oh, no, absolutely there is. I mean, when the place is just so big, um, that it's just amazing.
St. Augustine? Yeah, I've heard St. Augustine's pretty active because they got the lighthouse out there that Taps investigated.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yep. Yeah. I haven't go I don't plan on going too far south right now for for paranormal investigation. So, especially this time of year, maybe more in the winter. You know?
Yeah, we stay
Uh,
pretty busy ourselves. We travel all over too. We don't just stay in Missouri.
yeah. Yep. Yeah, no, we really I guess last year we started doing a little bit of traveling, um, and we just started and we've been traveling ever since. So to date, Missouri is the furthest we've gone anywhere to investigate. So we actually flew out there like for this one. So we uh, we drove out to Indiana State Sanitarium. That's
Mhm.
like our cutoff for driving out. You know, that's like 10, 12 hours. For us, if we drove out to Missouri, it would have been 16.
Yep.
So we jumped on an airplane and we're there in 2.5. So, so I'm up in Pennsylvania, close to New Jersey. So we do a lot of stuff up in this area in Pennsylvania, New Jersey area. So, but again, like I said, we've been traveling. So um, some really cool places around here. Gettysburg.
Yeah,
If
Gettysburg's on my bucket list.
Gettysburg is just amazing, an amazing, amazing location, and you can walk anywhere out in Gettysburg and um, feel the energy. That's the best way I could say it. You can walk anywhere in Gettysburg and feel the energy because it's just you know you walk down through the main streets of Gettysburg and some of the buildings still have um, bullet holes in them or cannonballs stuck in them from the Civil War. It's cool to see. Yeah, yep, yeah. So yeah, you know the area, yeah, Delaware, yeah, the area up here. We're just outside of Philly, so I'm actually between Philly and Allentown.
Okay.
And um,
Been to both places.
yep, yeah, it's there's just so much to do out here, and we're close to everything. So you know, to go to different places, you know, it's 2, 3 hours to go anywhere in New York. Um, so Sabrina wants to move to Gettysburg. You're
There you
not
go.
the first one I've heard to say that. Wow. So and it's nice out there. Um, and there's just so many different places to investigate out there. Hi, Diane. Um, just recently, earlier this year, we were out at I'm not going to remember the name of the place. We were out in Gettysburg, the Cash Town Inn. Sorry, guys. we were out at the Cashtown Inn for an event, a Get Haunted event, making sense of your senses. And the Cashtown Inn, man, it's a bed and breakfast, and the food is excellent for first of all, let me say that. The food is really good. But it's an amazing place, and it was part of the Civil War and all that, so you have a lot of that energy there. But anywhere you go in Gettysburg, it's really cool.
Right. Yeah, I
So
hear a lot of stuff about the Jenny Wade house out in Gettysburg.
yep, Jenny Wade House I heard is really active. I haven't gotten to do that one. I've been to the Cash Town, and we were at the Balladary Inn is another one, and that one was a field hospital during the Civil War, and actually the kitchen area, it's still the wooden floors, and when you look at the wooden floors, because that was like the operating area, the wood is still stains from the blood.
Oh,
It
yeah?
still has all of that energy in it. So they were saying they were doing amputations and just throwing the body parts out the window. The body parts were just stacking up outside. So, and Kaylee says the orphanage is cool too. I heard lots of cool things about the orphanage. So, right there, you know, you got the Jenny Wade house, you got the orphanage, you got the Cashtown Inn, you got the Balladary Inn. That's four places right there that you can go to almost all the time and check them out. So, and then just walking the battlefields. We actually went out and tried doing some stuff in the battlefields, and I didn't pick up anything tonight. We were out there, but you can hear people say they hear shots, they hear drumming. They see figures of soldiers on horses going through some of the fields and stuff like that. So it's interesting.
Yeah, I know they say they see lanterns too off in the distance.
Yep. Yeah, they do. Yep. I've heard that too.
Missouri's
And
got several big Civil War stuff out here too. We've got Lexington, Missouri, and Springfield, Missouri.
oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah. I never thought of that. How far are you from those locations?
Springfield, I'm about an hour north, and then Lexington, about maybe 50 minutes.
Okay. That's not bad. Yeah. So we're like 2.5 hours from Gettysburg. So that's not even too bad. So
With you being in Pennsylvania, have you heard of that urban legend out there in York, Pennsylvania, Seven Gates of Hell?
haven't heard of that one. I haven't heard of that one. So, um, what's that one all about?
It's supposedly the urban legend is there used to be an asylum that sat back in the woods back there, and there was 7 gates to get to it, and you had to pass through different security checkpoints.
Yeah, I haven't
And
heard anything.
the doctor was doing some experiments on the mental patients in there, and a fire had broken out and burnt down the asylum. Well, some of them had escaped through the woods, and they were shot and killed. Well, they say the paranormal activity with the demonic is so bad out there, you can only make it to the fifth gate.
Oh, wow.
That otherwise, it starts going haywire. I guess there was one kid that had made it all the way up to where the asylum once stood, and he ended up getting locked away in a mental institution for the rest of his life.
Yeah. Hmm. I never heard of that. I never heard anything about it. That's something I have to look into.
And then one of the guards had gone crazy and killed his family up there.
Huh.
And then a
Yeah.
house
No.
right next to it, right next to the woods, somebody ended up hanging themselves in their house right there.
Oh, wow. Huh.
We were talking about when I lived back there, we were gonna go out to it, and then we started all having strange nightmares
Yeah.
of the
I
place.
can I can believe that too.
And I was just fairly new into the paranormal stuff, and I was like, "Nope."
Huh.
that was my way of telling me not to go.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's urban legends all around here. Like Jersey, we have the Jersey Devil.
Yep.
Back up home, there's two that I know of because I'm originally from up the Wilkes-Barre Scranton area more, and there's a thing called the Suskin Screamer.
Okay.
Um, that's I think it's kind of like a Bigfoot or a Sasquatch. That's up in the woods up there. And people say they hear it. I never have. And then there's another one. I don't think the bridge is there anymore. It used to be an old train bridge that had that old arch. Um, all right. See you, Sabrina.
See ya,
See you
Sabrina.
next month. Yep. Have a great night. There's a bridge there, and they said that when you would drive up to the bridge at the stroke of midnight, it had to be. If you hit your horn 3 times, a lady in white would show up.
Okay, yeah, I've actually heard of that one.
So, and again, I've never had it happen. And of course, as teenagers, we tried it, but I've never had it happen, or just at that point in our lives, we just weren't tuned into what it all was. But there's those two legends up there about that. So, but now the lady in white, I've heard other places have a similar type thing. So I don't know.
Missouri's got the lady in white down in St. Louis, Missouri.
Okay. And now how does she appear?
Uh, she appears in like this long hair, long gray hair. She's got
Yep.
appears in a long white dress.
It sounds almost exactly like the one up there. Huh.
Yep, they see her quite a bit in St. Louis, Missouri. She's been known. They've seen her in Nebraska also.
Okay. Like I said, I've heard there's other ones, but it's only, and you have to call her. From what I understand, the urban legend is that she just doesn't show up. You have to go there and hit your horn 3 times, and
Hmm.
then she appears. So,
Missouri's got their urban legends as well too out here with the Momo monster,
yep.
and then
Okay. Cool.
we've got the Brunswick Cemetery where they say stones shift, fences shift,
Hmm.
and there's hellhounds out there.
Okay. Yeah.
We're talking about going out there. Every time we've been planning to go out there, it's always been flooded out there, so you couldn't get out there.
It might be a sign.
Yeah, that's what I
If
think. If
every
not,
time you're talking about it and you're supposed to go. So,
we've got
mm,
skinwalkers out here.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
we got called in on a skinwalker case at a cemetery,
Oh, wow. How did
and
that go?
it took an effect on my father. It pinned him up against a tree.
Oh, wow.
And this was broad daylight. I was getting equipment out of the car, so he walked in the cemetery by himself. This red-tailed hawk flies up in the tree. So he walks towards it, and a red-tailed hawk, they'll just fly away.
Yeah.
This thing just vanished. And all of a sudden he was pinned up against a tree, and then on his wrist he had a claw mark that showed up, and it made him sick.
Huh.
And we got it away from him, and he spent the rest of the night in the car, and this claw mark just kept showing up weeks on end on his wrist.
Wow.
And we went back towards the woods. Here's that red-tailed hawk again, sitting in the tree in the woods, looking at us.
Wow.
And then
Huh.
that night, we went back towards the woods, and my one ex member, she veered off by herself, which is a big no-no for me. If I can't see you, then you don't go off by yourself. and about 5 seconds, she was back behind me because she heard something coming at her through the woods,
Hmm. Yep.
and we heard something up in the corner of the cemetery, walked up there, and this owl let out a hoot, and my buddy goes, "Watch it," and I was about 3 inches away from being impaled by a fence post,
Wow. Holy cow. Huh.
and a couple of my friends went back to that cemetery, and they said they've seen a few things out there. They seen a squirrel acting retarded. It
Huh.
was like couldn't climb a tree, couldn't run, and
Yeah.
they're known to shapeshift to animals.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yep. No, I heard that. I've heard that before about the shapeshifters, the skinwalkers, and interesting.
Then
Hmm.
we've got our other urban legend, Mr. Slagle, who he owned a mill in Livingston County, Missouri. Well, he been married 6 times, and all 5 of his wives mysteriously died.
Eh.
One they found she was hanging from the mill bridge, and then several of the other ones just vanished.
Oh, wow. They
And
just vanished, huh?
yep, he murdered them and buried them in the cemetery. And then
Oh,
his 6th wife, she died of old age, and her brother found out that she had married Mr. Slagle. Well, Mr. Slagle, he knew was a bad man. He knew about
uh,
the thing with his other wives. Well, he come to kill Mr. Slagle. Well, Mr. Slagle got the drop on him with a double barrel shotgun and shot him through the back,
oh, wow.
buried him in the road up there, and they never did find his body.
Hmm. Interesting.
And we've been up there at the cemetery. We've had stuff, rocks thrown at us, and we had figure on thermal down by the woods. You could see there was deer in the field. You could tell the difference between the deer. This was a human figure standing there
Uh-huh.
thermal looking at us.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
I did a spirit box session up there, and I asked who was with us, and his son Henry Slagle come across the spirit box.
Wow. Interesting. Interesting.
Then we've got the Hans Mill massacre site, which is highly haunted out here.
Yeah. So
We've
you sounds like you got quite a bit to do out there in Missouri. So
got a lot of haunted history out here.
yeah.
You got the Lemp Mansion Hotel down there. You've got let's see, we've got a sanatorium down here. We've got a haunted movie theater,
Oh, wow.
which was actually on Dead Files.
Okay.
We're the only
Okay.
team that she lets in there to do it, and we're the only team since Dead Files, and because
Yeah.
Amy Allen isn't a fraud.
Yep. Yeah, no. So I actually it's funny that you say about a haunted movie theater. So very good friend of mine actually owns a haunted movie theater. Um, and I tried numerous times to have him let us in there, and he just won't. He used to let people go in and investigate, and the activity would ramp up so much he couldn't stay in the building because he's a sensitive.
Yep.
He couldn't be in the building; they would mess with him too much.
Yeah, it's
He'd be in his office doing something, and things would just start moving across his desk, like papers or pens or things. Just things would start moving. So
right.
he had to actually have. He has a very good psychic medium that he works with now that comes in, and every now and then he has to have her come out and tell the spirits in the theater to leave him alone. So, and his house is haunted too. I was actually doing work in his house again. He has an 1800s farmhouse, and
Mhm.
had some. I was doing some door work there, and everything in his house is period correct. He loves history and stuff like that. So it has all the old metal latches and stuff we were putting in these doors, and I'm hearing stuff all around me, hearing stuff move and hearing voices when there's nobody in the house. But the theater, I would love to investigate, but he won't let anybody do it anymore.
Right.
So
Well, that's why this theater, she only lets us in there because
yep,
she's very picky on it because if somebody brings, like, a Ouija board in there and starts messing
yep,
around,
yeah, you don't know what it's going to conjure up and what's going to happen, and then
there's already one that's not friendly there. I
yep,
showed Dan in that. I think you saw the video I showed you.
yes,
They
yeah.
stand that was in that theater.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's right. Yeah, I remember you saying this is a theater that we invest.
Yep.
Yeah. Wow, that was cool.
Yep.
That is cool.
And we've got our mob history here as well too. Al Capone actually owned a hotel here in Missouri.
Yeah.
One hotel we did in Rockport, Missouri, that's got some mob history to it. The owner was actually had a speakeasy in the basement,
Yep.
was bootlegging alcohol because he owned the liquor store across the street.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, we had Al Capone here in Philly. He was at Eastern State. That's
Yep,
where he spent his time. And they have a cell set up kind of like how it was for him when he was in there. I don't know if they know if that's exactly his cell.
right.
I've heard stories that it is, and now I'm hearing stories that they're not sure. But so that's cool to see that over there. But you know, they actually stopped doing investigations at Eastern State Penitentiary.
That's what I heard.
Um, yeah, they don't let anybody in there, so the activity was getting ramped up too much. So
Well, that's like at MSP, like Pretty Boy Floyd was a prisoner there. They don't know his exact cell either.
yeah.
And that hotel in Rockport that we did has got connections to Pretty Boy Floyd. He stayed there.
Oh wow. Okay.
So did President Truman.
Yep. Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Yeah.
And we got several good activity. The first time we did it, my dad was watching the cameras, and this was middle of summer. There's no running water, power in there, and it was hot. I come in to check on my dad, and he's freezing. You could see your breath.
Oh wow.
Something was around him. We ended up having to get him blankets, put a heat lamp on him to warm him back up, and put his coat on.
Huh, interesting. Wow.
And that night we heard the piano play. There's a piano in the old ballroom, and the keys don't work on it.
Oh. That's when you know it's going to be an interesting evening, right?
Yeah, well, even during the day when she did the tour with the owner walked us through, we were walking through the storefront back through the hallway, well, the door slammed behind us,
Huh.
and, we went back the second time, and we were with the owner and 2 of my former members, and, we're standing there talking with the owner. My dad rings the bell from the old hotel, and he goes and sits down in a chair, and all 4 of us seen this white glowing light around him.
Wow. Huh.
And he didn't investigate with us that night. He ended up staying outside, so we went and did our thing. We were down in the lobby doing some stuff. So I rang that bell again, and I heard footsteps up above us. When you go upstairs is where all the rooms are, and there's a library up there.
Yeah.
So we went up in the library, and we were getting a little bit of activity. So I decided I'm going to walk towards the back of the library by myself, and I hear something metallic clang, and I react to it. And I was filming on my I was live on TikTok when it happened,
Uh-huh.
and you hear me go, "What the hell?" And my one member goes, "Was that you?" I said, "No," and I said, "Obviously, something didn't want me coming back here."
Yeah.
I walked over to this object sitting there, and there was a metal toolbox sitting there. So I lifted the lid up and slammed it back down and recreated the sound where it came from. Something had lifted that metal lid up and slammed it.
And slammed it down shut. Wow.
We did ended up doing it again. We were helping the lady restore it, fixing the roof and stuff. And so the rest of my team, they went to a hotel that night. My dad and I, we slept in that old hotel. We stayed in
Oh,
this,
wow.
and we had the cameras running. And about 3 o'clock in the morning, the generator runs out of gas, so everything goes dark.
Yep.
And I was laying on the couch. My dad was sleeping in the chair. He was still awake, and I'm starting to nod off. And he goes, "Hey, wake up!" I'm like, "What?" He goes, "Look in the doorway." And here's this 6'5", dark, tall figure standing in the doorway, looking at us.
Holy cow.
Never did anything, just stood there staring at us.
Yeah.
Well, the former owner of the place, George Opp, he was a big, burly German guy who was over 6 foot tall.
Wow.
So we think it might have been him. He knew the power went out, so he was just checking on his guests.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. That makes perfect sense. Yeah. Huh.
And he was well known in that community. I mean, he paid people's back taxes for them and personal property taxes. And if they were losing their farms, he'd rent rooms upstairs for them.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Interesting to hear that. So,
We ended up finding his liquor stash too that he had stashed in the hotel down in the basement, his moonshine stash.
oh, yeah. Was there anything in the bottles or were they
Oh
dry?
yeah, they were still full. The jars were still full.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
Did you crack any of them open?
Yeah, we cracked them open to see if they were still pretty potent. We took a lighter to one of them, and it wouldn't light anymore.
Yeah, they might have been. Yeah, because they were probably cut down,
Yep.
to make it drinkable.
Yeah, we didn't
Wow.
even dare to try it. I didn't even know if it'd burn our guts out.
Yeah, yeah. Wow. I think the one next to it was his. Huh.
And we have the wax museum out here too.
Oh, yeah, yeah. That's cool.
If you
That's
guys ever get out to, put it on your list to go out to Waverly Hills Sanatorium.
that's on our bucket list of things to do.
You
Yep.
won't you won't be disappointed. Trust me.
Yeah. We want to go out there to Waverly Hills. Yep. Yeah. So actually, 2 weeks, in 2 weeks, we're going out to Sweet Springs.
Okay.
So that'll be our first time going out there. So,
I got a friend that does the haunted house out there, and her mom works out there.
okay.
She sent us an invite to go out there, but we get so busy, we have a hard time.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So yeah, so Dominic and I were actually invited out too with some other people to go out and check this place out. So we're looking forward to doing this.
I heard it's a pretty good active place.
Yeah, that's what I heard too. So it'll be interesting to see and get the layout. So
But yeah, if you get a chance, do Waverly. You guys will enjoy that.
yeah, that's like I said, that's a bucket list for us. So
It lives up to its name, the most haunted place in America.
really,
Yeah, we got some good activity when we were out there. I got pinned to a surgery table.
really, wow.
We did an
Yeah,
experiment.
yeah. So what did you like lay down on the table and do something to try and
Yeah, I laid down on the table and had one wheel me under the light, and I started playing like I was sick. I was coughing, and
yeah.
my one member was yelling, "We need a doctor in here. He's sick."
And then you got ended up getting pinned down. Like
Yep,
they were holding you down to try to sedate you and stuff, huh?
yep. Our
Oh,
motion light
interesting.
kicked on the shelf, and I heard a noise out in the hallway, so I went to sit up, and that's how I knew I was being pinned because I couldn't move my arms, my legs.
No
Felt like
shit.
threw my chest down,
Hmm.
and we heard 2 loud female screams come from the hallway,
Wow.
and
Wow.
we were with another team out there that invited us, and my initial thing was text that other team and find out where they're at.
Yeah.
They were out on the 5th floor up on the 5th floor doing an Estes method, and the rest of them were out on the roof
No shit.
because
No kidding.
they were asking questions from the roof while the guy was laying in the mental wing of Waverly Hills.
Yeah. Wow. That's amazing.
Then the morgue, we got stuff. I slid into the morgue slab. That's one of the Waverly Hills challenges. You have to lay in there for like 15 minutes by yourself.
15 minutes?
Mhm.
No kidding. Yeah, I don't think I could do that.
Poor guy, Vince, he says, "Yeah, you lay in there for about 15 minutes, have your members stand out in the hallway and ask questions." I was like, I'll do you one better. I'll lay in there for 2 hours."
Did you really?
Yep. He's got a security camera pointed right at it so they can watch it. So I had a K2 above my head. I had my millimeter with REM pod sitting on my chest, and I was running an audio recorder, and we borrowed the other team's Boo Bear, and we had it sitting on one of the morgue embalming tables.
Yeah.
And the Boo Bear was going crazy. The K2 above my head was going nuts. And I captured an EVP when I was in there
Uh-huh.
saying, "You're dead too?"
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
Then the first
Wow.
floor, we had good activity on the first floor. There's a man down there that doesn't like people.
Yeah.
So we had a K2 meter, the Mel meter with REM pod, and then another K2 meter set up all around the table. We were doing a spirit box session. We had a skeptic with us, so we were letting him ask questions.
Yeah.
So it started cussing at him. It called him every name in the book. So then the one girl that was with us, she asked questions, and it goes, "Shut up, dumb bitch,"
Yeah.
to her, and then all of a sudden one K2 went off, then the millimeter spiked and the REM pod went off, and the K2, they were all coinciding, and they would go in a row with each other,
Really, like it was moving through it or?
like he was running back and forth between them.
Yeah. That's
And
cool.
we ended up hearing something getting thrown from the hallway. Well, my one former member, she goes, "Do you like Russell?" "No, he's an asshole."
No shit.
So we started laughing because that's an inside joke with my group. Because a lot of times, like on residential cases, I'll get cussed at
Yep.
because they know I'm there to do a specific job. I'm there to find out why they're there and why they're bothering that person.
Yeah.
So during residentials, my line of questioning is direct and to the point.
Yep.
I'm not going to beat around the bush with them. So
Yeah.
they tend
So,
to call me out.
yeah. Oh, yeah, I imagine they will.
Then the other challenges is the body shoot. You have to do the body shoot at 3 o'clock in the morning.
3 o'clock in the morning, you got to do the body shoot.
Yep, all the way to the bottom.
Did you do it?
Yep. Yeah, we went all the way to the bottom. We got still photos of a black mass filling up the whole body chute coming down at us.
Really?
And then we heard the gate up top slam.
Hmm.
Well, that gate
Interesting.
weighs about 100 pounds.
Yeah. So it's not easy to move it.
No, and it's rusted from all the moisture down there.
Yeah. Huh.
And then
This is all at Waverly Hills, huh?
yep. And then we seen the creeper of
Did you
Waverly.
guys see him?
Yep, we saw them. We
No shit.
they start you off on, I think it's like the 2nd floor, and my members at the time, they smoked, so they went out on the balcony to smoke a cigarette before we started, so I was just milling around the atrium, and I went on the outside catwalks, and I was standing in the doorway just looking, and I see this black figure crawling across the floor. So I called my one member over, I'm like, "Hey, look at this." He sees it. I'm like,
Yeah.
"Holy shit, that's the creeper."
Yeah.
I'm like, "You keep the camera pointed at it, I'm gonna head towards it, see if I can get closer to it." Fast as I got down there, it went over the outside wall and down,
Really?
and then just disappeared. Outside wall down.
Huh.
And they say that they think it may be a former patient there. He was in a wheelchair, and he would go down to maintenance to get his wheelchair oiled every week. Well, one week he went down there to get it oiled. Nobody was down there, and he ended up face planting off the loading dock and smashing his face down below into the pavement, and it killed
Yeah.
him. So they think that may be him.
Okay. Huh.
And you can only investigate till 4 in the morning. So we were on our way back on the 4th floor, and we're walking. This white figure comes running down the hallway at us, flows in between both of us, and just disappeared.
Wow.
You could feel the cold breeze as it flew right past us. And
Yeah.
the other team was coming back through, and I said, "Did you see a figure come down through there?" We didn't see it. They never saw it.
Wow. Interesting.
Even on tour during the day, we were getting activity. We were outside with our tour guide Vince, and we were seeing stuff up in the windows.
Yeah. Yeah. I've noticed that some of the places we've been too, we've seen stuff during the day, middle of the day, you know?
We got out in the back part of the Waverly Hills there, and there's an exit door right there. Vince and I both seen somebody peeking through the window. He says it's probably that other team because they were just roaming around. So I went and up to the window and looked, and there was nobody.
Huh.
And we looked, and they were up on the roof taking
Yeah.
pictures.
Okay.
And then we walked through. He was showing us the 4th floor. Him and I both seen a shadow figure peek out around the corner, look at us. He yelled hello down there. Nobody answered. Well, the other team was coming out on the catwalk, and Vince asked them, "Were you guys just down there?" And they said, "No, we come through the atrium in the catwalk."
Huh. Wow. Pretty cool, man. Pretty cool.
So you guys will have good experience at Waverly.
Yeah. Like I said, it's a bucket list, that's for sure.
Well, we're
So,
talking about possibly going out there maybe next year.
okay.
Raven's Eye. So we'll let you know.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Keep us in mind. Yeah. We'll make the trip. Always willing to make a trip. So,
For us, it's about a 13-hour drive to Louisville.
yeah. I guess that would be about 10, 12 hours for us
hmm
too. So, and around that, probably about the same amount of time.
I think the one next to it was his.
Don't know what she's talking about.
I don't know.
So, yes, I will.
Yeah, it's a pretty good time at Waverly.
Yeah, it sounds like it. So,
We're getting ready to host an event for Johnson County Historical Society
okay.
in Warrensburg, Missouri. We're getting ready to do the 1838 courthouse.
Okay.
Tickets
When's
already.
that?
It's in July, July 13th.
Okay.
Tickets already sold out already.
Oh, wow. That's great. That's great for something. Yeah. Good for you guys.
And she's planning on having more, hopefully. If this one goes good, she's talking about doing more, so
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, it's sold out for you already. That's pretty
yeah,
good. So I imagine, so about how many people you gonna have?
20.
20? That's a good, yeah. So yeah, that's great.
Yeah, they limited it to 20 people. We're actually gonna do your, human pendulum out there too.
Oh, that'll be cool. Yeah, man, you gotta let me know how that works out for you.
We're gonna film it, so
Okay. Oh, I'll have to watch it then. Yeah, that'll be cool.
because 'cause we're gonna go down and set up our DVR cameras through the courthouse, so kinda make it handicap friendly for people, so
Yeah.
if they can't, because there's stairs in there, if they can't walk, they can actually still experience it and sit and watch the DVR cameras.
Yeah. That's cool. I'm interested to see how it works out for you.
I think it'll be good. Us and
Oh
Joe,
yeah, absolutely.
we're gonna do the Estes method.
Yep. Yeah. And as long as everybody's energy's up and good, and it'll happen, it'll definitely happen. So
And
that's good.
a lot of them know around here we're related to Ed and Lorraine, so that kinda
Yeah, that's the draw for you. Is people
yep,
want to come and see us. Yeah.
and then they know us all from the Paracons because we do a lot of Paracons out here in Missouri.
Okay.
We've
So
got
are you?
several coming up
Yeah.
that we're doing.
Which ones are there? Which one's coming up? What's the soonest one coming up?
September, we're doing the Echo Paranormal event in St. Joe, Missouri,
Okay.
and they're doing a VIP ghost hunt afterwards of a old Italian mansion,
Oh.
and it's never been investigated before.
Oh, that'll be interesting. That'll be real interesting to see how that goes. Never been investigated before.
That's our soonest one. We're taking a break on the Paracons, doing some investigating.
Yeah.
And then October fills up for us pretty good too.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, we're slowing down a little bit. Like, I mean, this month is going to be busy for us in June. We got a couple of things in July going on. Um, we try to do like if we're going to do something, we try to do every other weekend.
Right.
It just doesn't always work out like that. Um, you know,
Oh, I
like
know that.
like last weekend we were with you guys in Missouri, and this weekend I'm off, just hanging out, and the next 3 weekends we're on the go again. So, but you know what? It's what we do. What's fuels us.
Hi, Ecto Eyes. Welcome in.
Yeah. So it's we enjoy it. We enjoy getting out, meeting the people out there, talking with everybody out there, um, having that experience in the paranormal because you don't always have a paranormal experience, as
Yep.
Sarah would say. It's we can't promise you a paranormal experience, but we can promise you an experience in the paranormal.
Yep. Exactly.
That's one of that's Sarah's tagline for with Get Haunted that she says all the time, and it's the truth. So, and that's what we've experienced, you
And that's
know.
it. We all learn off each other.
Yep. Oh yeah. Coming out to Missouri and hanging out with everybody and getting to do everything and getting to meet the different people, and it's always a good time. It's an interesting time, it's a fun time,
Hmm.
so it's different. It's not something that we say we're a little weird what we do, but let me tell you, I met some of the coolest weird people, and I'm glad to know them.
Well, that's like my buddy Rob Demarest says. Why be normal when you can be paranormal?
There you go. That's a good way of putting it. Why be normal when you can be paranormal? Kaylee, yeah, you're right, Kaylee. It's
But
definitely what makes the community.
And that's like us. We love doing the paracons and getting out there and educating people of what we do.
Yeah.
Our last paracon we were at, we actually made the news. We were interviewed for a news station.
Oh, that's cool.
All of us, Raven's Eye, Supernatural Link.
Oh, that's really cool. And which Paracon was that?
It was the April and Bettina's. It was the Omni event Paracon.
Okay, cool,
They
cool.
got one.
That's great.
They got one coming up here in September, and yeah, Tracy, you should make me that shirt. They got one that's they're doing a steampunk theme Paracon coming up.
Oh yeah, that should be interesting.
We may be at it. We don't know for sure yet because we're saving up to come to Gettysburg in
Yeah,
September. So, because we were
yeah,
supposed to do Border Town Paranormal's Paracon, but since we're going to Gettysburg, we have to
yeah.
cancel out on that.
Gettysburg Paracon should be really, really cool. That should be, that's going to be a fantastic one.
Will do, Tracy.
What's up, Steve?
Welcome in, Steve.
Steve is a huge White Hill fan. He'll be out there with us next week.
Oh,
He
nice.
loves he loves that place. He's Steve is with P3 Paranormal out here,
Okay.
and
Actually, I've heard of them.
yep, yeah, they he Steve is always there. I think every time they have an event, I think Steve is there. So he probably knows that history better than just about everybody around. That's his favorite place. That's a lot of people's favorite places. So
That's like us. We meet so many paranormal teams. I've got so many following us. My group page alone is over like 5,000 followers.
yeah, yep, yeah. No, that's great.
But I also ran two groups for a while. I had a branch of this one back east when I moved
Oh,
out.
really?
Yep.
Cool. Yep. See, he says it's his favorite place. Yeah, it is. Too bad you guys weren't closer to come out, and experience this place. Um, it's really a cool place. Really, truly is. So,
Yeah, definitely.
maybe you can make a trip, pack all you guys up, make a trip out here to New Jersey for that one day.
Yeah, definitely. We'd probably do that. We're talking about doing a East Coast trip eventually here because we want to do Penhurst.
Yep. Yeah. Penhurst is a cool place. So, um, we do that one a lot. My son has been there quite a few times. He's been there more than I have. And every time he's there, there's a little girl that comes and finds him and seeks him out.
Oh yeah.
Um, I can't think of her name offhand. It'll come to me.
Oh, cool, Tracy. Hey, we'll meet up with you. We're gonna be there for 3 days.
Oh, cool. That'll be great.
Yeah, we're doing the after hours party with Nesper. So
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
That'll be interesting. We'll get to hang out with Wade even more.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wade's stoked about it. He says to me, he goes, "I got so much things I want to show you guys."
Oh, yeah. Wade's awesome.
Oh yeah.
Once you meet Wade, he's the personality and it just sticks with you. He's the guy you want to go to and hang out with all the time when you meet him. You know. Have a good night, man.
Yeah, have a good night. Thanks for tuning in.
Yep, I'll be out there. Yep, I'll be showing up in
Heck,
September.
I saw Get Haunted's gonna be there too.
Yep. Yeah.
I
So
told her,
are
I was
any so are any of you guys coming out in October for the supernatural soiree?
like, I don't know
That's
yet because October's filling up for us. We've got
okay. Well,
Eric.
that's October 26th. It's going to be on the Battleship, New Jersey,
Okay,
and it's really not an investigation that night. It's just the whole community getting together and just hanging out and having a good time. So that's something to think about. It's the Supernatural Soiree website for it.
okay.
Tickets are available. It's going to be a good time. There's going to be swag bags and stuff that Get Haunted and Ghosted Magazine are going to have going out. There's be vendors. There's going to be celebrity guests. So yeah, it's gonna that's gonna be pretty awesome to see. So it's the first time they're doing it. First time that the Battleship New Jersey is actually having a big event like this on the ship itself. So
We
yeah,
were
man.
we were just in a magazine last year, last October.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, American Paranormal.
Okay. Cool. Cool. Yeah. So Ghosted Magazine is it's Michael Castro and April Busette.
Yep, I know
Um,
April.
yep. Yeah, she's part of the Ghosted magazine there, and that's new. They only started it, I think, last year, and they're doing really well with it. And they've got and Mike Danger goes out and does a lot of the places and interviews a lot of the people that are out there at these locations, that the owners, and it's just phenomenal the articles and stuff that they have. So great magazine.
Yeah, I just caught the last issue. They had my friend Michelle LeBaron in there,
Yep. Yep.
the ghost magnet.
Yep. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. See, Kaylee's going. She's excited. They're also having a cannon raffle
Oh, nice.
where you can shoot the big guns off on the ship.
Oh, neat.
So yeah. Yep. Yepper.
Bree Hollenshed? Yeah, I do know her.
Yep. I know Bree as well. I've actually investigated with Bree.
I just know her from Facebook. We've talked a few times.
Yep. Yeah, I've
Like,
investigated a couple different places with Bree.
never did get to investigate with her yet.
Yep. She's a lot of fun to investigate with. That'll be a good time. She's she's sensitive too, and she sees things and stuff like that. So she's interesting when she's to be out there. So we were investigating an old hospital together, and we were on the third floor, and she was doing a live,
Mhm.
and I saw a shadow, and it scared the living daylights out of me, man. And she must have jumped about 4 feet in the air. It was hilarious. So,
We did a little trick last summer at MSP, Building 3. You know how those
well,
outer doors slam?
yep.
Well, that other team we were with, they were up in the catwalks up there, so I was like, "Hey, you wanna play a little joke on them? See how they react, see if they come check it out?" So we slammed that door, and you hear
Oh,
them, "Did you hear that? That was a door." None of them did come and check it out.
oh, really? Oh, yeah. No, we would have had to come up and check it out.
So, we saw them up in the upper top up there, we could see their flashlight, so we flashed a flashlight up there at them. They
What
come
they do?
they were like, "What is that?" They come we took a break, they come back, and they were like, "Yeah, building 3, we had a door slam."
Yeah, well, that was us.
And then we seen a light shining up in the window. I was like,
You would
"Us?"
you would think that they would try and go and see, especially after seeing that. Well, let's go up there.
Yeah, she's at the Wildwood Sanatorium all week, pretty neat. She did a
Oh,
live the other night.
yep. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right. They are. She is up there.
Welcome in, Bob.
What's going on, man? Yeah, that's right. I saw that she was posting something. She was up there.
But yeah, it was fun playing the joke on them when
Yeah,
we did that.
that's cool, man.
That's like I was telling Julie, I said at MSP when we were at Get Haunted there, you gotta do a Zach Bagans line one time.
Did she do it?
No, she never did do it. I was waiting for it.
Yeah. Yepper. The most common thing I hear is on some of these investigations and people there is don't be a Zach Bagans.
Yep.
You know, that's usually the line you hear from everybody. Don't be a Zach Bagans. Oh,
Yeah.
that's great.
I know he was at they did Missouri State, Ghost Adventures did.
Yeah. He doesn't seem to be traveling around as much anymore. Seems like he's doing a lot of stuff out in California where he's from.
Yeah, well, I know he's getting a lot of ridiculed and hate for the way he acts and stuff.
Yeah.
Good when a phenomenon community can come together. A lot of people want to compete too often works way better with teamwork. I agree.
Absolutely. I do. I agree as well.
Amen. That makes amen. That makes my skin crawl. That man does.
Oh man.
Yeah, I was talking to some of the MSP crew about him.
Yeah.
He was there. I heard they weren't too happy with him.
With
Zach.
oh yeah. Yeah, I heard he's a real peach. To
Yeah,
put it nicely. Yeah.
his old pal Nick. He follows me.
Yep. Yeah, no, I know Nick. Yeah.
KD from Supernatural Inc. You know that he makes equipment for Nick Groff. He
Yep.
leases equipment for him.
Yep. Yeah, no, I know. Yeah, a lot of those guys. Um, I mean, it's all connect. Everybody's connected one way or another somehow. It seems, you know. So that's funny. Yeah, but Nick, we're
But Austin Maynard, he makes a lot of Nick stuff.
yep. So I think Nick is actually going to be at Penhurst next year for the Paracon
Oh, nice.
already. So yeah, I just saw that. He'll be one of the special guests there that night. So
Yeah, I follow Nick quite a bit, and
yep, yeah. I think Nick did. Didn't Nick do the Hinsdale House as well?
yep,
Yeah, I think he was up there for that. I think I saw.
yeah, he did that on I think it was Paranormal Lockdown with Katrina
Yep.
at Hinsdale House.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, absolutely. So
But yeah, I met KD. I met him at Metacon the one year, and ended up hitting it off with KD. Became good friends, and now I've got a podcast on their network.
no, that's great, man. That's awesome. Good for you, dude.
We're gonna do some. KD and I are gonna do some investigations together. I got one booked for us. We're gonna do a private one together.
Oh, that's cool. Is it
2 days.
is it like a secret location?
It's a private residence, actually.
Okay.
We've done it already, but they want us to come back and do the property. There's so much history attached to it.
Oh, cool.
The Battle of Crooked River happened there. Jesse James has been kid out there.
Interesting. That'll be an interesting one for sure.
Little boy died in the woods back there.
Mm.
Then you've got what the locals call Nate. His name is Nate. He was a black man accused of practicing witchcraft and voodoo, and they
Oh, wow.
took his house and strung him up in the middle of the road and hung him over a bridge
Hmm.
to show
Wow.
everybody that's what happens when you practice witchcraft and voodoo.
Yeah. Huh.
And the urban legend is with the bridge, you run over the bridge and it sounds like bones rattling. They say that's his bones.
Interesting.
And they can't keep boards on the bridge. He's cursed the bridge. Where his cabin was, he cursed the land. So you go up there, you got a chance of getting bit by rattlesnakes.
Oh, damn. Damn. Hmm.
So we're gonna be out there for like 2 days. We're gonna camp out
Okay.
and investigate that. And then at night you'll hear gunfire out there.
Yeah. So you just told me that the land is cursed and you have a chance of getting bit by rattlesnakes. And now you're telling me you're going to camp out there?
Oh yeah, we're
Man, oh man, that's crazy.
They got an old, farmhouse that sits up on top of the hill that the guy's grandparents lived in.
Okay,
They just up and left one day, left everything, didn't say why, they just up and left.
just up and left.
And the farmhouse is haunted.
Okay.
We were First time we were there, we set up the DVR up there, and the owner was helping us, and I stopped and I was looking in the upstairs window on the 3rd floor, and he goes, "You see something up there?" I said, "Yeah, there's a woman standing up there looking at us." That she's
Huh.
not saying anything, she's just staring at us. So he snapped a picture on his phone, and there she was.
No kidding. No kidding. Wow. Interesting. Very interesting. So
But
this will be your second time going back there, right?
3rd.
Oh, third time.
Yep.
Oh, so it's so everybody has like that place. Would this be that place for you, which is like your favorite?
Not really.
Not really.
I think more of my place would be that haunted movie theater that we do.
Oh, okay, cool. That's neat.
That would
Nice.
I love that place.
Yeah. Huh.
And we stay right there in the haunted movie theater. She's got an apartment, so we right above
Well,
the
you
theater.
still in the apartment?
That's our base camp. We'll run our cords and everything for our cameras all out of there.
Right through there, right from there.
A few of us slept in the haunted part of the movie theater right in Cinema 2 is the most haunted active spot. Couple of
Yeah.
us slept in there one night.
Brave souls, man. Brave
I woke
souls.
I woke up to my millimeter spiking next to me and the REM pod going off.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty cool, the activity then.
And then they got balconies that nobody's been up since the 1920s. Well, we got up there.
Oh, yeah?
I've got videos on my YouTube from there.
I'll have to go and check it out and see it.
Yeah, it's like a 2-hour video. I threw the Marshall Cinema, Waverly Hills, and Missouri State all together on one video.
Okay, yeah.
And
Interesting. Yeah, that's Dom. We got a YouTube channel too, and
I just
Dominic.
followed you guys, actually,
Yeah. So Dominic's putting together a couple of different things for that.
because I
So
did see the one you just put out from last weekend.
yeah, Dominic just did that. So yeah, I was surprised. I didn't even know. Just I
Julie and
just saw.
Julie and I just shared it on our pages too.
Oh,
So
thank you. I appreciate that, guys. Yeah. No, I like the video that he did. It was pretty good. So, but he's doing something for. I guess he's going to release it towards the end of the year when we're done of all the different places that we've
oh,
been.
no,
So,
I'm getting ready to do one from ours from last weekend.
oh,
We
that's cool.
we were filming during our Estes method down in the dungeon, so
Yeah. Oh, I can't wait to see that then.
we're
That
Julie,
should be a real interesting one.
yeah, when we didn't even use the spirit box. We just used our senses.
Yeah. I'd love to see that one, yeah. Wow. Cool, man.
Jenny Jenny heard about it, and I was like, "Well, she was supposed to go with us that night
Oh, okay.
because
And
I
she
had brought
didn't?
no, because I had brought out the SLS camera too,
Okay.
but we didn't capture nothing in death row on it. But mine gets too heavy when you're carrying it around, it starts weighing on your hand quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have one, but I've seen them. They look like they're pretty big and bulky and
Yeah,
fire around.
one I've got is it's got the Xbox, One camera on it,
Oh, okay.
and then the tablet's pretty big on it, but mine's modified, so it's not like those traditional ones that pick up the tables and chairs.
Yeah, okay.
This one
Okay.
won't map it out,
Huh.
so
Neat.
if you get a figure in it, you got a legit figure,
Yeah.
and
That's
mine does
interesting.
2D and 3D.
Okay. Now, where did you get yours?
Horn Paranormal.
Okay. Sweet.
They had one on eBay for sale. I bought it. I've had it for a couple of years now. I had a client end up kicking it over at a case we were doing at
Oh,
his house and screwed it all up. I had to go back through and fix it and redo it
yeah.
with a little help from Katie Stafford.
Yeah. Yeah,
KD,
no, absolutely.
he doesn't like those SLSs.
Yeah, no, not a
Yeah,
fan of them.
he's more of the spirit box man. KD is.
Yeah. And
That
that's the thing. Everybody has their thing, when they're doing it. Everybody gets that one thing they like. Like for me, it's the human pendulum. For
mhm.
the next guy, it's the necrophonics. It's, for the next guy, it's REM pods. And
He
so,
we had 2 of his box 3 of his boxes there at MSP last weekend. We had a
okay.
reverse sweep ink box, and then we had the ink box S, and then we had his, brand new one. Julie's the only owner of this one, the Wise Man.
Oh, cool.
Your body is the actual antenna for the spirit box. You grab a hold of the 2 bolts, you hang on to them.
Okay. Interesting. Interesting.
That's the one Julie was using with the shadow doll.
Oh, okay. Kaylee says she loves Estes. I call Kaylee the queen of Estes. She's I've gotten to investigate with her numerous times now, and seen a lot of people do Estes. She's really good. I don't know how she tunes into it, but man, she knocks it out of the water when she does it. She's just amazing to see.
Yeah. That one
So like there you go, perfect example. That's Estes is her thing.
that's like that one that was doing that down there with Dan from Get Haunted. She did pretty good at it. She was in first, and then they let somebody else go in after.
She
That's
was in.
she
I'm
was doing
trying to think. Was it Lisa? Maybe was her name.
I think it was Lisa, yeah, I think it was Lisa.
Okay, yeah, yep, yeah. That was my first time actually investigating with Lisa, having her there and meeting her too. So
Yeah, she did pretty good at it. When Dan was asking the questions, Dan would ask them real low. There was no chance of her hearing her.
yeah,
That's what we did with the without the spirit box using our senses, like, I would whisper the question,
yep.
and if Julie did hear me say something, she would not repeat what came in her head, what her senses picked up.
Ah, okay. I
So
got you. Yeah,
and I did the same thing. If I heard Julie asking a question, I didn't answer.
yeah, yeah. No, that's the way to do it. No, that's cool.
So that way there was no validation. Oh, you're faking it.
Yeah, yeah. No, exactly, and you'll get that. Interesting.
Yeah, smoke scrying. I've seen people do that.
Yep. Yepper.
Plus, with us too, we do a lot of home cleansings too.
Yeah.
We and then Julie had to do a cleansing on that girl Michelle that was in my group.
Oh,
She after we took a break before I think it was before we got released to you guys, we stopped, took a break. I
yep.
was grabbing some equipment and welcome in. And so she was standing there and I was looked up at her and I could tell she wasn't right. I was like, "Are you all right?" He's like, "No, something overcame me. I feel like I'm being overtaken." I was like, "You want us to do some prayers with you?" He says, "Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good." So Julie took her outside and did a cleansing on her.
Huh. Now,
And then
when she had this happen to her, where did she come out of?
we just come from the women's.
Okay.
She was the one that was
Okay.
communicating with that woman spirit up there.
Mm, gotcha.
And then shortly after that's when that medical emergency one came in that my dad took care of.
Yeah. Yep.
And then I got asked I had to do one also. We were walking back and somebody come up to me about it. So I had to do one on somebody.
Wow. Wow.
They had,
Interesting.
they had just come from the haunted artifacts.
From the art, did they? I was wondering. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. No, I mean, because I don't know if you know, like when everybody was sitting down, Wade sets up the table. He's got the table with the holy water on it and stuff and everything like that. He carries a bottle of holy water with him. He actually has it in a spray bottle too.
Yep, we had
So,
water with us too.
yep. Yeah. I mean, Wade's always ready to go. So,
And like I said to Julia, I said the reason why a lot of those artifacts were reacting to us because her and I and my dad was wearing that cross. That cross has been blessed by the Vatican.
oh, well, there you go.
And then Julie and I are both wearing Saint Benedict's medals that are blessed.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of, yeah. Yep.
And so them artifacts, they started turning and looking at us.
Yeah. No, I believe it, man.
They
I
saw
believe
those
it.
things around our necks. So it was like,
Yeah. So we got to watch out for these guys.
but if you look at my selfie with Annabelle, which is my Facebook profile picture, it
Okay.
looks like an arm. You'll see like a bicep, forearm. When I take the single picture of Annabelle, you see a fist that's kind of closed like this. And then my selfie with Annabelle, you see fingers like a hand opened up
Really?
behind me.
Huh. That's interesting.
I showed that to Wade. He's like, "Yeah, that could be." But
Yeah.
you know, the chair that the movie doll is sitting in is the actual Annabelle chair.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, that's the actual chair that Annabelle sat in for years before Ed and Lorraine put her in a case.
Put her in the case. Yeah. Did not know that.
Yeah, she sat in a chair for years in the museum before they realized how they could contain the energy.
Yeah. So now that, that makes me wonder because they say the movie doll isn't haunted. It's just a
Now,
regular doll. But what about the chair? I mean, the
Wade,
chair's got to have something there, you would think.
Wade said that it held some leftover energy.
Oh, I would imagine. I could imagine it does. It's like when you got all of those objects together in that place and something is in there that's really not all that haunted,
Yep.
you got to think something energy gets transferred to it.
And you
So,
figure she was brought there way back in the 70s, I believe.
yeah.
And
Yeah, no, absolutely.
in that chair.
Yeah. Huh.
Uh,
Wow.
well, we're gonna get ready to wrap up here. We're almost 2 and a half
Almost
hours.
2.5 hours. Yeah, man. It's like 11:30 here where I am. It's
So,
way past my bedtime for not investigating.
right? Yeah, I get up early for work. I work at a school. I'm a head of maintenance at a 100-year-old
Okay.
school.
Yeah, so you're up bright and early.
Yep.
You're
I
up
get
bright
in
and early.
early in the morning. The school I work at is haunted.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, well, I believe that. A lot of schools are.
Oh, this thing, I mean, I've got several stuff I can't explain that happens in there. I've
Yeah.
heard mock teachers. I've heard it mock our cooks in the kitchen.
Wow.
I've seen the
Wow.
shadow figure. I've got footage of the bathroom door opening up on its own, and you see
That's crazy.
hands from the inside pulling the door open from the inside.
That's crazy. Wow.
Thank you, Harlan.
Yes, thank you. Thanks for tuning in to see us tonight.
Yeah, thank you.
I I enjoyed coming on and talking with you. So I'm glad you had me on, man.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
you're welcome. If people want to get a hold of you guys for events or something,
So we're on Facebook, Next to Kin Paranormal. Is where to get a hold of us mostly. We're on TikTok. Dominic has a thing set up on TikTok, YouTube. Um, I don't know, but yeah, if you guys want to, find us and reach out for us, we're on Facebook, Next to Kin Paranormal. And shoot us, hey, just even if you want to say hello, what's up? Shoot us a hey. But yeah, Next to Kin Paranormal. Thanks, man.
yeah, thank you, Steven.
And, yeah, appreciate it, Steve. I'll see you next weekend. Thank you.
Thank you, Tracy.
So, yep. So Next to Kin Paranormal on Facebook is where you'll find us and all of our escapades that we do. So, and
All right, we're gonna wrap up here. I thank you for coming on, and
appreciate that, man. Thanks for having me on. I had a good time tonight.
oh, you're welcome. And we'll definitely get together and do some stuff together too. I told Rob if he ever needs help while he's out here in Missouri, holler at us. We'll help.
Awesome, man. Yeah, no, they'll appreciate it and they'll do it. They'll reach out, man. So definitely, it was great meeting you guys out there last weekend, and it was great being on the show tonight. So yeah, I definitely look forward to investigating with you some more, man. It'll be a good
Yeah,
time.
we'll definitely get together and do some stuff.
Sounds great, man.
Steven said, "You'll see me next
See
weekend."
him next weekend. Yes, we will. All right, man.
All right, everyone. I thank you guys for tuning in. Tune in next week. I'm trying to get Rob next week and him and Sarah on for next week's show.
There you go.
So hopefully I can get them on. If not, I'm gonna try to get Wade on.
There, yeah. Yep. I'm sure you'll get somebody on.
So
So,
all right, we're gonna end the stream here.
all righty.
I thank everybody for tuning in tonight. See y'all next week. Stay safe out there. Stay humble
Yep.
and enjoy the paranormal.
Yes, sir. Have a good night, guys. Thanks
Have a good
again.
night,
We'll,
everyone.
we'll, we'll talk soon, Russ.
Yep.
Bye.